Let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really powerful allegory about a village that traded in the most unusual and, frankly, the most forgotten commodity in the modern world. You know, we spend so much of our time trying to optimize our schedules and buy back our time. But this story asks us to look at a completely different kind of wealth altogether.
Seriously, think about it for a second. What would you pay for just 1 hour of absolute silence? This mysterious village, they didn't sell gold, they didn't sell exotic spices, they didn't even grow crops. And yet, it drew rich merchants, busy kings, and famous scholars from all over the world, and they were all willing to pay an absolute fortune for it.
So, what exactly were they buying? Well, no shouting, no music, no gossip, no distractions, just pure, unadulterated silence. The really strange phenomenon surrounding this village was that travelers who spent time there left seemingly happier. Their minds were clearer and their spirits were stronger. They didn't undergo any intense physical training or, learn some secret ancient knowledge. They simply experienced an environment completely devoid of noise. Part 1. Meet Aaron, the distracted writer. To really understand how this works, we've got to look at his chaotic life, because it perfectly mirrors the overwhelmed reality that, let's be honest, almost all of us experience today. On one side, you have Aaron's everyday reality. Messages pinging every single minute, endless opinions telling him what to do, friends demanding his attention. And despite working all day long in this constant state of chaos, he never actually finished anything important. Sound familiar? On the other side is the village's super simple promise: just silence. Driven by this total inability to focus, Aaron makes the long journey to this mysterious village, desperate for a solution. When Aaron finally arrives, he meets this old woman standing at the entrance. He pays his fee, and she hands him a small wooden token. This token essentially represents his purchased hour. But it wasn't just a ticket to a quiet room. It came with a very, very strict set of rules. The prohibitions for this hour were intense. No speaking, no listening to anyone, no reading, no writing. You may only think. When the old woman laid all this out, Aaron literally laughed out loud. He was in utter disbelief that people would travel across the world and pay a fortune just to sit there and do absolutely nothing. But the old woman just smiled at his skepticism and dropped this incredible line. They're not paying for silence. They're paying to meet themselves again. This is a massive shift in how we understand the value of being alone with our thoughts. It's not really about the absence of noise, right? It's about the presence of yourself. Part 2, the first hour, a mental timeline. Let's actually walk through the psychological roller coaster of Aaron's first agonizing and eventually transformative 60 minutes of silence. Okay, minute 1, he gets the token. By minute 10, it is unbearable. His mind is racing, he's imagining conversations, he's replaying old arguments, and he's constantly reaching for distractions that just aren't there. We've all felt that phantom phone vibration in our pockets, right? But then, right around minute 20, something shifts. The noise actually quiets down. Thoughts, ideas, and dreams that he had ignored for years finally begin to surface. And by minute 60, he emerges strangely refreshed. He realizes he hadn't truly listened to his own mind in years. Totally astonished by this transformation, Aaron asks the old woman what makes this place so uniquely powerful. In response, she simply points over to the village marketplace. It was completely empty. There were no advertisements fighting for eyeballs, no merchants shouting, no endless entertainment loops. And she summarizes the village's entire ethos with this profound statement: the world steals attention, we protect it. That's the stark contrast between our modern world, which is aggressively engineered to demand and extract our focus, and a sanctuary specifically designed to shield it.
Well, Aaron is sold. He decides to stay in the village for an entire week. He dedicates himself to a brand new routine. 1 hour of complete silence every single morning. No interruptions, no distractions, no outside opinions. Just him and his mind. And the result? By the end of that week, Aaron finished the first chapter of a book he had been postponing for exactly 3 years. 3 years of struggling in the noise, completely solved in just 1 week of protected focus. And the real key takeaway here is that he didn't do this by working harder or grinding out longer hours. He did it simply by working without noise.
Part 3. The Secret of the Celebrated Author. Let's jump forward in time a bit. Years later, Aaron has become this celebrated, highly successful author. And as it always happens with successful people, fans and journalists are constantly hounding him for the secret to his success. Was it raw talent? Was it just a stroke of luck?
Instead of offering up the usual platitudes, Aaron reaches right into his pocket and pulls out that exact same wooden token he received years before. Carved into the wood are just 4 words: guard what guards you.
His audience is naturally a bit confused by this, so Aaron explains this massive paradigm shift. The modern belief, what we're basically all taught from day one, is that time is our most valuable resource. We track our hours, we optimize our calendars, but Aaron realized that time is practically useless if you aren't present for it. Attention is the ultimate currency. It's a huge shift from valuing the hours we have to valuing the focus we actually apply within those hours.
He leaves his audience with this heavy-hitting thought. Where your attention goes, your life follows. Just let that linger for a second. The immense weight of where you direct your daily focus literally dictates the entire trajectory of your existence. From that realization forward, Aaron protected his attention like it was buried treasure. He made highly intentional lifestyle changes. He consciously chose books over endless doom scrolling. He prioritized deep conversations over constant superficial chatter. He valued focused work over the total illusion of endless busyness. And every single year, he returned to the village. Not to run away or escape the world, but to remember exactly who he was without all its noise.
Part 4. The Moral Cascade, Mastering Your Attention. Let's bring this all home and look directly at what this means for our own highly distracted modern lives.
Here is the brutal truth of the source material. The greatest theft in the modern world isn't money. It's your attention. Every single notification that pings on your screen, every unnecessary internet argument you get sucked into, every endless feed you scroll through, they aren't just harmless pastimes. They are actively taking you a little farther away from your life goals.
This builds into what I like to call the moral cascade. It's a perfectly logical domino effect. Step 1. Your attention becomes your thoughts. What you focus on is what you think about. Step 2. Your thoughts become your actions. What fills your mind dictates what you actually do. Step 3. Your actions become your future. Therefore, the people who master their attention eventually master their lives.
Which brings us to Aaron's final, chilling, yet deeply inspiring piece of advice to a young student who asked him what one single thing they should change. He told them to be incredibly careful about what occupies your mind, because every distraction quietly steals a piece of the life you could have lived. That, right there, is the true cost of noise.
So, I want to leave you with this provocative question to ponder as we wrap up this explainer. Ask yourself honestly, what are you allowing to occupy your mind today? Are you guarding the gate of your attention, or are you leaving it wide open for the world to just walk in and steal? Take a moment of silence today and reclaim your focus.